the system report, which pretty much the month of November. 8,605,000 gallons produced by the wells during November. Works out to be about 278,000 gallons per day produced by the wells, so the equivalent customer consumption of 534 gallons per day per service connection. We'll mention that, as you'll see on the water system item, Gail's mentioned it to you now. We had some control glitches at the Langfield booster station that caused reservoir overflows up at Connery Pines Reservoir. That's been resolved. It hasn't happened anymore this month because of that fix. So that could increase that number somewhat. Or as you look at last year, almost 8 million gallons, 7,946,000 gallons. And that would have a bearing on that number being higher than this year. And you see the year-to-year comparison. Last 2 years, it's been over 7 million gallons, almost 6 million gallons 3 years ago. Almost 5 million gallons, or 4,671,000 gallons over 4 years ago, and just over 5 million gallons 5 years ago. And by the way, Jeff, I did send you the water production report. I just forgot to send it to you.
I've got it. Input it into that.
So I didn't put it into that, send it to you. But you can change that if you want.
No, I've got it. The same thing.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Okay, so I mentioned, any questions about the year-to-year production before we go into the different items? Okay. If not, I mentioned number one, we had some control glitches at the Lincoln booster station to cause an overflow of the Connery Pines Reservoir. That's been resolved. Jesse, I don't know if we're going to handle this now. It's in the main agenda. The plan relocation of the meter under the house on Lincoln.
It's not on the main agenda. I know that it was discussed that you were working on the quotes.
Right. And you got the quotes. I know we were going to present those at the board meeting, or we're just going to simply take the next quote, or what?
We can certainly present them. Yeah.
Okay. This is the house on the corner of Lion Kill and Cape Horn Road on the southwest corner, and there's a meter that's underneath the crawl space in the basement. And the problem with that is that it's leaking. It's not leaking very much, but it's one of those things where you hate to, if the weather turns in the winter, you hate to try to figure out how to fix this thing. You'd rather do it now. And so our plan was to move it out of the basement and attach it to the new 2-inch service line that would service 2 meters there off of Cape Horn Road. And I explained to the owner that the pressure wouldn't increase at this time because we don't have the booster pumps going up, but the flow might increase so they have a bigger meter. We decided that what we wanted to do was to actually abandon both meters. The other one is the neighbor's meter right nearby, and move them up along the street where they really should be so we could work on and access. So Jesse will be printing out 2 quotes here. We can get to that later that we got from two contractors, so we can take a look at that. It will also probably require work now, but then there may be some resurfacing and nice lawns in the spring, maybe bring in some topsoil. They quoted some of that as well. So that's just kind of an update now. We'll take a look at the quotes at the moment. There's none of the typical meter installation. You're actually abandoning some, and you're actually putting new meters up by the road where they really should be. Both of them are very, very old, so it'll be on a list of getting them replaced anyway.
We plan on doing that before it starts to
up
again.
Well, actually, Jeff, you left right into the you're right on number 3, because it kind of ran. The next one runs right into it. Some project repairs scheduled for spring may be done this winter, depending upon the weather. Right now, it's been holding out. You aren't digging fronts of ice or anything like that. So this one we're looking at still doing, and there may be some other ones as well. There's no snow out there right now that we may be able. We're going to put out for the spring. Broken meter valves where we may have to pull up the whole meter, that kind of thing. It can be done right now. We have another meter, one broken meter that was failed, so that we may be able to do that now as well. As long as it doesn't involve asphalt cutting or the right-of-way issues. That's the main thing because of lead highway issue.
Whose responsibility is that meter that's in the basement?
That's ours because we in the district is responsible up to and including all meters. Yeah.
So if something happens,
Right.
it's on the hook for it.
And in reality, we are on the hook. We put moving the meters up the road. We still have to hook it back up to the plumbing under the house because that's where it was.
Well, it's best to get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah, but then once we have it up by the road, then that line becomes their responsibility.
Yeah.
Mistake was made ever allowed.
Right.
Under the house.
So once it's moved, we be out of our.
I don't know when that happened, but obviously a long time ago.
Likely what will happen is not moving it, but abandoning it, simply putting the meters up on the road and then abandoning that line and reconnecting it to avoid that. So There are some issues we're still watching though, because we believe that, I think we've talked about it before, Ben, that the service for that property may actually come off of, Linefield and Feely. And so we're trying to figure out, okay, how can we do this and cap it off properly? Typically you could freeze a line, but if it's leaking, you may not. Anyway, there's still some things we're working through on this. Between that,
They're involved with basement for some content.
Updating something.
But you might have answered this question. Okay. So some project repairs, is it just meters?
Primarily just meters. There may be one or two sewer projects also that we're waiting on also to look at. We might be able to, like if it's between the tank and the street, if we've got a belly or something like that, it's on our end. Sometimes we could wait on things till this year's fiscal year start. So, kind of got that on our site and in our schedule. Jesse, did you want to go over those now, or do you want the quotes for that meter or not?
Yeah, I handed out
Okay.
the two quotes to everyone.
Right. I tried to get apples to apples as much as possible. Probably have to do a couple of these. The one quote at top's over, the other one says we're restored like it was before. So, to look it over, we can come back to it if we need to. Of course, land application treatment site is shut down for the year. And Bob, did you have any comments with regard to the permit? The annual report?
Well, we're working on the annual report section with his, but no irrigation having taken place.
Right.
It'll be a little skimpy. I think the only thing they do is do the soil samples that are required before the season starts. But I would advise us to be ready to serve as soon as possible in the upcoming season, even if we have to pull those valves and put them manual into their place.
Got to figure out something. Okay.
I don't think we should put it off. We're overutilizing the drain flow.
Okay, and sewer maintenance items of one septic tank pump last month. I should have this report last week, so we've actually had a total of 3 done in there. And I don't know if Jesse, we're going to be discussing this on the main agenda, installation of inlet risers on septic tanks. Are we covering that? Are we getting more on that? Are we just tabling it for right now then?
Yeah, I only just got the reports from KG&T on some of the other documentation I received, and that was just their workers' hours on it. I still have not gotten anything from them on the structural engineer assessment. They did want to go ahead and move forward with scheduling the tank work, and I said not until we get a structural assessment.
All right, I think that's pretty much it for my report. Any questions?
Thank you, Bob.